Guys, welcome back to another episode of Florida Panthers Daily. It's your host Jacob Williams here, bringing you guys Panthers news and content on a daily basis. This week has been goalie week, celebrated kind of within the NHL. Specifically, you might have seen this on NHL Network and also through social media. And now let's talk about one of our favorite goalies, Bobrovsky. And specifically, what is my favorite moment of Sergei Bobrovsky? So from watching him on TV and also being present in some of his most memorable games, there's been a lot of fantastic moments that I've witnessed of Sergei. One of them was last year, Game 2 in Tampa, Round 1. Got to see Bobrovsky get a shutout against our arch rival, the Tampa Bay Lightning. But by far, I would say my favorite Sergei Bobrovsky moment has to be the Bobrovsky save. I was actually there. I witnessed it in person, and right away, my first live reaction to it was, that is by far the best save I've ever seen in TV or in person, regardless of player. By far, my favorite Sergei Bobrovsky moment. Thought for sure that puck was going in the back of the net. We end up winning in overtime with the Carter Verhaeghe goal in the playoffs. Love that Sergei Bobrovsky moment. Now, let's go on to our next topic, which is, what are the top 3 goaltenders in Florida Panthers history? So I think, for the most part, there hasn't been a long history of the Florida Panthers, so there's not too many goaltenders to choose from. But I've created a list and reasons why I have each of these goaltenders in this specific spot. So here is the list. Coming in at number 3, we have John Van Beesbroek. So he was, as we expanded, and we're an expansion team, he was the starting goaltender, the first starting goaltender for the Florida Panthers. In his first season, he was a Vezina Trophy runner-up and a second-team All-Star. He also, in 1996, helped the Florida Panthers reach the Stanley Cup Final, where he had a .932 save percentage during the playoffs, and he has been inducted into the United States Hockey Hall of Fame. So within those kind of accomplishments, I have John Van Beesbroek coming in at number 3 as the top 3 goaltenders in Florida Panthers history. Now, 1 or 2, we kind of know who they are. You can slot them in whichever way. I have Sergei at number 2, not quite up there with Luongo. Sergei at number 2, Luongo at number 1. A little bit of Bobrovsky. Clutch performance, obviously, going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, winning back-to-back Stanley Cups in 24-25, and also he's won multiple Vezina trophies. So within that, phenomenal, is a future Hall of Famer, but he's not quite done writing a story. I think he could eclipse Luongo, but based on what Luongo has already accomplished with the Florida Panthers, I think Sergei still has a little bit ways to go, but I think in regards to Florida Panthers and him playing as a Florida Panther, Sergei's number 2. Won those Vezina trophies, not with the Panthers, so that's why I have him at number 2. Luongo in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He holds franchise records, and this is where I really put Luongo over Bobrovsky. For every single really major Panthers goaltending record, including most games played, 572, most wins, 230, and most shutouts, 38. His number is the only number retired by the Florida Panthers. Obviously, that's going to change in the future, but the number 1 is the only number retired. And again, just a phenomenal guy. I think overall, when you look at the body of work done with the Florida Panthers, I'd put Luongo above Sergei Bobrovsky. Now, this is a little bit more of a fun topic, is if I had the Stanley Cup, so many people eat different things out of the Stanley Cup. If I had the Stanley Cup, what would I eat out of the Stanley Cup? And what I would eat is, I'm a big guy, I love seafood. Now again, if it's a bowl, it's not a plate, so you kind of have to be like, what fits well in a bowl? What I would eat is, I love seafood, I also love pasta, so you combine them together, and I would eat seafood Alfredo out of the Stanley Cup. Talking about shrimps, talking about scallops, talking about cheese, all of that in regards to fettuccine Alfredo sauce, a little bit of cheese on top. That is what I would eat out of the Stanley Cup. Would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on that. And also, what would you eat out of the Stanley Cup if you had an opportunity to bring the cup home? Now, for the last thing, and rounding up our video, is what am I most excited for the 25-26 season? There's a lot of amazing things to be excited for. Signing guys, returning guys, young players that have been evolving. Are they going to take the next step? But really what I'm most excited for is a full season of Brad Marchand. It's going to be super exciting to see him play an 82-game season. We got a little taste of it at the end of the 24-25 campaign and then also in the playoffs, but would love to see his reaction on banner night, seeing that banner go up and get a full season of Brad Marchand as a Florida Panther. That is what I am most excited for 25-26. Guys, thank you again so much for watching and listening. If you guys love the channel, support it by hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. It means a lot. I will see you guys next time on Florida Panthers Daily.